I remember the day Misty Hollow became a ghost town. It was a small village nestled deep in the heart of the woods, surrounded by an eerie mist that seemed to creep into your bones. The townsfolk were a superstitious bunch, always wary of the legends whispered through generations. Legend had it that a witch once lived in those woods, a vengeful sorceress who wielded dark magic. They called her Alara, and her tale was one of betrayal and revenge. They said she cursed the village, ensuring that no one would ever find peace in Misty Hollow again. On the day the curse took hold, the sky turned as dark as midnight, even though it was midday. The mist thickened, crawling through the streets like ethereal tendrils, choking the life out of everything it touched. The townsfolk fled in terror, leaving behind their homes and possessions, seeking safety in the outside world. But I was drawn to the mystery of Misty Hollow. There was a curiosity that tugged at my soul, urging me to explore its deserted streets. I ventured forth, stepping into the desolate village, my heart pounding in my chest. The first thing that struck me was the eerie silence. The only sound was the whisper of the wind, carrying the distant cries of forgotten souls. The buildings stood in disrepair, windows shattered and doors hanging off their hinges. Nature had begun to reclaim its territory, with ivy snaking up the walls and weeds pushing through the cracked cobblestones. As I wandered deeper into the heart of the village, a sudden movement caught my eye. I turned, expecting to see a figment of my imagination, but instead, I was met with a pair of glowing eyes staring at me from the shadows. Panic coursed through my veins as I realized I wasn't alone. A voice echoed through the mist, a haunting melody that sent shivers down my spine. "You should not have come," it whispered, the words dripping with malice. "Alara's revenge shall claim you too." I stumbled backward, my heart threatening to burst from my chest. The mist grew denser, swirling around me, obscuring my vision. I felt a presence drawing closer, its icy fingers brushing against my skin. Desperate to escape, I ran blindly through the ghostly streets, my mind consumed by terror. Suddenly, I tripped and fell, my body crashing against the ground. Gasping for air, I looked up, only to find myself face to face with a crumbling house. The door creaked open, beckoning me inside with a siren's call. My body moved of its own accord, unable to resist the pull. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of decay. Shadows danced on the walls, casting sinister silhouettes. And there, in the center of the room, stood a figure cloaked in darkness. The witch herself, Alara. Her eyes burned with an otherworldly fire as she approached me. Her voice a venomous hiss. "You dare defy me, mortal? You shall suffer for your insolence." I trembled, unable to tear my gaze away from her. The witch raised her arms, summoning a tempest of dark magic. It engulfed me, a whirlwind of nightmares and despair. But just as I thought all was lost, a blinding light pierced through the darkness, banishing the shadows. A voice rang out, pure and powerful, chanting an incantation of ancient power. It was a guardian, a force of good, come to save me from the clutches of evil. In that moment, Alara's power faltered. She let out a blood-curdling scream, her form dissipating into nothingness. The curse was broken, and Misty Hollow would haunt the world no more. As I stumbled out of the house, gasping for breath, I knew I had escaped the witch's revenge. But the memory of that cursed village, of the mist and the fear that still lingered, would haunt me for the rest of my days. Misty Hollow would forever be etched into my nightmares, a reminder that evil could manifest in the most unexpected places. So I left that forsaken village, vowing never to return. But deep down, I knew that Misty Hollow would always be a part of me, its secrets buried within my soul, waiting to be unearthed once more.